then when you guys said that you have a comic that you want me to review, as I said, when I was telling Jimmy, when I got the email, I thought, oh, cool. I don't know who's mailing this up on, because your email actually went to promotions. It didn't come into my inbox at first.
Sure.
The,
In other words, you want hit the spam folder.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's great. Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, oh, who's mailing this up on? This is looking really cool. And then when I read the bottom, like, we would like to come onto your podcast. I'm like, wait, this is way too specific for just a random spot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you guys are reaching out to come on. So it's just awesome.
Well, we actually we knew we were. Jimmy told me we got to get on this podcast, so we were focused to get to you, and I'm glad you eventually dug it out of your spam folder because I think this is. Why do you guys think it is though? It is an interesting question if you think about it. Like, why do you think it is that we don't see a lot of work in this Christian space? Because, we've always heard the criticism that the Christian creative world is like kind of like a B team to everything else that's out there. But if there are artists who are working in this Christian space, is it quality? What is it that's keeping Christian artists from blossoming, do you think?
Jimmy, you could go first, but I could add on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really don't know if I have a good answer. I wonder if it's just like a fear of, we're fortunate because my dad here is retired and I work full time in another field. And so we were able to do this comic, like as a side project, and we didn't have to worry, like, if it's a complete bomb and we make no money from it, it's okay. Because this isn't like our primary, income. But I got to imagine if you're a full-time comics guy, even if you are truly gifted, if you try to go into religious comics, I mean, how many people are going to follow you? I remember, I don't know if you're, I'm sure you're familiar with him, but I don't know if you're a big fan or not of Mike Allred. He did like Silver Surfer and Madman and stuff like that. I'm a huge Mike Allred fan as an artist, and I don't know if he still is, but he grew up Mormon, and like maybe in the early 2000s, he decided, hey, I'm going to go and start making Mormon comic books. And here he's like an A-list comics creator. I mean, everybody has nothing but good things to say about him. I'm sure he has multiple of the Eisner Awards. Like, he's a big deal, but I think he made like 3 issues. And then he self-published, and then he had to go back to secular stuff. And I don't know if that had anything to do with his religious beliefs or not, if he left the church or whatever, but I just think it must be hard if even he can't sell big numbers of his religious comic, and he is like at the top of his game. I'm sure there's a lot of fear of like, hey, if this is my full-time job, I just can't get into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think, Xavier?
Which is actually, I think if there's a Christian company that could come alongside and say, hey, we can pay you a living wage and we'll find the audience for you, like, I feel like there's this fear that there's no Christians that read comics, and we all know that there's so many Christians that read comics. Every church group, every Bible study I ever was with, there was always somebody there that I could find that was a big comics person who probably would read good Christian comics if they knew they existed and how to find them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say definitely from at least the prior guests and the other creatives that we've brought on and stuff we review is mainly audience. Because it's like a lot of the guys that that we've had on, the Rob and the Joe Spicer, a lot of it is like what started off as, just the love and passion. It's to the point where one book covers the next book, but then
right.
A main factor of it as well is like the adoption, like at least now, so like I would say past 7 years, Christians have really embraced media most. Like, it's no longer that catch-all bracket. Like, I'm sure you guys been, but probably haven't hosted one, but been to one of those, been to a seminar or adjacent where it was like media for a long time was a catch-all media evil. Comics, movies, TV, and a lot of those guys get that pushback. Of the other creators that have come on, they get that even like within Christian spaces, they still get that because it's like the parents are the ones who like buy this stuff for the kid, and when they carry it to the parents are like, oh well, comics are something demonic or bad, I don't want my child eating this and stuff. And that's another aspect of it where it's like, no, there's just that nowadays, at least now it's growing, there's the Instagram, as Jimmy and I will talking about beforehand, there's like Instagram pages dedicated to like bringing up lost Christian media, like old school. Well, I'm saying old school. I'm saying old school, but
Yeah.
we were like, not to date, but like things from the 90s.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like old school Christian media, and now it's like that more so that media, I'd say a media renaissance in a sense for a lot of Christian themed work. When it comes to like video games, for example, like I work with Daniel Mertz of DLM Christian Lifestyle on his game development company, and in his Bible X that's launching. There's like many other forms of Christian. There's Christians within this space like getting into media. Now the audience is finally like flocking towards it. Before there was that media bad in a lot of Christian spaces, or even other brothers and sisters. It was like, oh, well, I'm not even going to give this Christian thing a chance because every time I read a Christian thing, it's just been cheesy. So it has lost that kind of goodwill for a while. And now, with like coming around now, everyone is like they're giving it a chance. And we're like I would say we're like at the floor of, I honestly believe we're at the floor of what is going to be like the rise of Christian entertainment in all aspects, whether it be, but Chosen is big, that's a big one. Or like some books that are coming out that people are actually like gravitating toward.
Interesting. Yeah, just curious.
We're very like fortunate for The Chosen, because I'm not sure if you know this, but the reason we were able to do this project is because of the Chosen TV show. The Chosen TV show wanted to do a comic book adaptation, and they got this small company in Colorado to start doing a mini series based on the first season. And after I think 6 issues or so, the company that was producing them was purchased by a Christian book publisher called David C. Cook, who's ended up publishing our comic. And they took that comics team and said, hey, we want to go into the graphic novel space. So they created a new studio, a new imprint for them, Crux Studios, and they did their own version of adaptation of The Chosen. And then as their second project, we were fortunate enough to basically talk them into letting us have a shot at it.
Awesome.
So yeah, maybe there is like a snowball effect that, hey, but Chosen is popular. They can get a comic. Oh, hey, the comic's good enough where we can do something else. So I hope you're right that that the tides are turning, because as a Christian, I want to have more media that I can just watch and be like, hey, this is good, and I can be pretty much feel good that I'm watching it. I don't have to be like, oh man, it was great, except I wish there wasn't that one scene with objectionable material or with a weird theological teaching or something like that. So I hope that's the case.
Because I also believe, me personally, I stay out of it. In particular, is more so what has been happening with the culture war in entertainment for a while now, within the past 2-3 years, on just like the turning in. There's the stuff in media that people are starting up and like, okay, no, I don't want this. I no longer want this in my shows, and the push that has been going on in the show. But at the same time, I also do my best to warn at least some Christian creatives that is to remember as well that with the culture war and everything, sometimes the opposite side of the pendulum is not the same as righteousness. So give an example where it's like, I don't know how tapped in you guys are with nerd culture and stuff, where it's like games and they have turned from the pushes, the LGBTQ pushes that they're doing in it, to now it's like, if they're scantily clad, that's a moneymaker. And it's like, that's not really same as we went from one extreme to the other. But I'm hoping that out of everything rises just like those, as Evan David says, which Evan David is actually works on the Crux Studios team. He has said with their chosen book as well, is that push of gospel infused entertainment. That is like rising up as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's my hope. But what's interesting about this is that we had the opportunity to work with artists that have the same values, and that makes a huge difference. So we've got to credit the artists in this, because they are the ones who decide, for example, what a character looks like, what a character will wear, what a background, what are the scenes going to be, all those issues. So anyway, but I'm digressing now. But I know you had some questions for us. I don't want to get us too much in a rabbit trail, but I wanted to get your opinion on why you thought that was the case. So anyway.
No, that was awesome. That was an awesome question to add there. I think that was an enjoyable tangent for everyone. Me, you, too. I know what you